Okay, this is a really good cup of coffee.
Seriously.
Yes,
What is the name of this? We are at the Great Northern Sex Cast. New hipster coffee place came right around the corner. What's it called?
According to the cup, it's called Wesley Andrews.
Okay.
And this has espresso and almond milk in it because I can't do dairy, and some fresh ground nutmeg, and there's something else in there. And then gently massage the mint leaf before they put it in. But honestly, it's pretty effing tasty. So I'm treated myself this morning.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a cool place, and it's right for those of you who are local and listen to us. It's on the corner of 26th and
1st.
And 26th and 1st. Yeah, so it's going to be the southeast corner of 26th and 1st, and it's just a really cool place. I had a double espresso there one day when I was, walking comatose human being. And good stuff. So, well, good luck to Wesley Andrews. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Breathing
is so good.
Steroids in me, really. And I was saying this earlier. Anytime that your doctor looks at and goes, "You look like hell."
That's not good.
I'm barely paraphrasing here.
What?
They slap a mask on you, do a flu test, and end up being strep. But, it was like... I'm a walking effing petri dish.
Well, talk about a freaking roller coaster last week. So Perry came in to talk about the fact that we're now streaming live, or you can listen to the Great Northern Sex Cast anytime you want on the Camp Hardwood website, which we are very grateful for. But he didn't think he could come in on Tuesday. Monday, he goes, "No, I'm sorry, I got 2 meetings." I said, "Okay, fine." So then Tuesday morning, you said you weren't coming. And then Perry sent me a text and said he could. And then Michael said, "Well, I found out Perry was coming, so I came." So I'm like, would somebody just get in the fucking studio and do the show with me? Really? It was so funny. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Now, like I said, I was, reading the outline of the day, and I get the text, the phone call from the doctor. "Oh, by the way, it is." I'm like,
well, you couldn't have felt very well, but you were probably before that knowledge. You were probably going to make yourself come in.
I was going to come on, Okay, we've been doing this for over 2 years now. It is hard for me not to be able to talk. So, let's just be honest about it. I can blather through almost anything.
I know, but you are like a night and day person. I can tell you feel better, which is nice because you're all bubbly and it's great to see. I'm glad you're back and you're in the pink. Yep. So, man, we have got, for whatever reason, news always happens in clumps, I find, and there is a boatload of trans news today. So we'll go into several stories that I found from all over the world, really, about that. So we'll get to that in a couple more minutes. But question for you, Colleen, being that it's the beginning of a new month, what's the newsletter thing? What's going on at Fantasy Gifts?
Well, the big thing is, and it's sort of a sad thing, as of yesterday, we shut down our Minneapolis location.
Oh.
We busted our ass for 6 years to make this thing go. And I mean, honestly, Macy's is pulling out of downtown. There just isn't retail downtown. I mean, when we opened this up, we started downtown on on Nicollet and then Washington. My dad was 35 years too early for being the North Loop. And then we moved over to E Block. And then they tore that down. And then we were over, at first, 10th and Nicollet, 81 South, 10th Street, yeah. And there were a lot of places, but there was still retail downtown. But, but last year, 6 years ago, when we had a shot at this spot, I went, well, we're well known. People know us. I'm not in the area with the bars. I'm over in the theater district. I'm in between all the offices on the parking ramps. This would be good. I could just not get folks in the door. And, the thing is, or people will come in, they would shop because they're going to a show. They just didn't have the same buying patterns or shopping or downtown patterns.
Okay.
And there's also the thing is that when we first started in the 80s, people would come in groups from their offices. He, and they press the little buttons with the displays with the vibrators in them, and they just giggle, and they'd buy a coffee mug and something silly, right? But, office people don't do it anymore. The pendulum has swung to where you don't bring up anything sex at the office.
It's an HR issue.
Yeah. And I get that. I don't have a problem with that because there are serious issues with harassment in all workplaces. That needed to be addressed in the past, and now it's just better be safe than sorry. So you don't do that. So if you're carpooling or if you're with people, you don't just stop into Fantasy Gifts on the way to your car.
Yeah.
And like I said, we hadn't been downtown a long time. I'm insulated. I have a family business. I don't work in corporate America. I don't understand corporate speak.
Yeah.
You know? So, it was a good shot. We gave it our best, but we shut it down yesterday, and we're going to be, honestly, we're going to be cannibalizing it. The slat wall's going to one store, and the cases are going to another store, and the lighting is going to another store, and the merchandise is getting parceled out. And so, there's no, not everything works.
Yeah.
So that, like I said, we still have the 8, Twin Cities locations, still have the 2 websites. There's the, myfantasygifts.com and the Great Northern Sex Toy Store, which is our partner site.
Yep.
So there's lots of different ways to get your dildos.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, good.
It's just not going to, but it's not really going to affect that many people because, well, honestly, there's nobody walking through the doors.
Yeah. Well, that's, that's
and it was
business.
such a gorgeous store. I loved it so much.
Yeah.
And I'm sad, but, like I said, that's that news. We got a bunch of new, it's a whole bunch of random new items in the store this month. I mean, new things from the Closet Collection, new things from California Exotic Novelties. Tara just, when she went to the show last fall, she saw some things, but she knew she had her, Christmas and Valentine's orders already in. But she goes, well, people deserve something new after that. And so this is the time of year where we take stock. What do we keep? What do we go on? She's got some new stuff coming in. I think there's if you sign up for the newsletter, you get sort of pictures of it and just a quick, links to the site, and you can see what's new on our website.
Okay.
And like I said, nothing. It's a smattering. It's potpourri.
It's potpourri. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, that sounds good. So yeah, I mean, it's an interesting time. What a funny week. I mean, yesterday it was, so warm. Mm-hmm. And then today, holy cow. Yeah. And I mean, the wind, was your car just like feeling the wind?
Last night, it felt like someone was throwing sandbags against my house. It just, it's like there's the wind makes a whumping noise.
Yeah.
And then it's actually not as cold. It's, my car said 41, so it's not as cold, but it was amazing to see, to be walking around in just a t-shirt yesterday, and today, because of the wind, having to put on the lawn. I'm wearing socks again. I hate socks.
Really?
Honestly, I discovered, I was thinking about it. I don't like clothes. I don't like bras. I don't like socks. I would prefer to be nude, but that's like the physical of it. My brain does not prefer to be nude. The body prefers to be nude. So there's a constant fight.
Yeah, okay.
Between these two things. So at least I try and go for, as braless and as sockless as possible and go with it from there.
Well, and that's a good thing. The second you get home, shed the stuff you don't want. Have a good time.
Yeah.
So imagine my surprise this morning on March 7th of 2017. The city of Amarillo, Texas is considering an ordinance that would outlaw sex acts with animals. You mean there isn't one?
Well, actually, I like the idea that you need to have an ordinance because people would actually think about having sex. See, that's the thing that I always find fascinating. I equate this with like texting while driving. Who would think that this is something that you would do in the first place?
Well, yeah. Yeah. I mean, although texting with driving seems to come far more naturally to most people than an animal thing. I'm just saying. I'm curious. Have they specified, or they just said animals? Well, animals.
Okay, I'm curious whether or not there was a particular incident in which they specified a few.
Well, the information, and I did not want to dig further into the article because, quite honestly, I didn't want to know. But here's what I've got for you.
I'm perfectly fine with you.
The local news report basically says that the director of the city's animal management and welfare department says, well, guess what? We've had 8 to 12 incidents in the past 2 years in which an animal has injuries consistent with sexual abuse. And most commonly, the victimized animals are dogs, which is so sad. And so even though, bestiality, most people are familiar with the idea from a moral and or somewhat religious or, theory, apparently cities are feeling the need at this point in 2017 to actually put this on the books.
Oh, jeez.
I'm so sad to see that.
That is...
I know.
I have to admit, I thought you were going to go sort of towards the sheep angle. I was not
thinking... house pets.
Oh, my God.
I know.
I mean, mind you, I don't particularly... I mean, I'm perfectly fine with, bacon and stuff like that. I like definite meat eater.
But you don't have sex with it.
But I don't have sex with it. And then like, the animal, the domesticated animal that can't survive on its...
Oh, I know.
The whole thing is appalling.
That's so disturbing. So let's go to a happy place for a minute.
Oh, yes, please.
Because this is funny. This is good stuff right here. The iCon. Now, of course, and that's i.con. So they're still, trying to plagiarize Apple. This is the world's first smart condom.
Oh.
Do you want to posit a guess as to what this thing might do? Just for funsies.
Okay, let's see. Well, there's got to be some sort of sensor or chip on it. So does it send... Does it have anything to do with images, or does it have to do with thrusting or
thrusting?
Okay.
See,
okay.
I knew you'd come close. What it is the future. They're calling it the future of wearable technology. It's a ring that men can wear with a condom during sex to track a number of pertinent facts. Their stats, if you will. Not quite available yet, but they're taking early bird registrations. This ring is going to cost about $75, available sometime this year. But things like speed, average thrust velocity, duration, skin temperature, girth, calories burned, not kidding, and frequency of sessions. So it's like your Fitbit for your dick, okay?
Oh, yeah, this is going to... If this actually comes to fruition, it's gonna sell like crazy.
You think so?
Yeah.
Would you carry this?
I think it would probably be something we would sell. My guess is that it's probably going to be a standalone, company. I don't think that, something like this is going to have enough upgrades, have a whole bunch of different things. And, I could be wrong here that having that extra step is going to add an extra price to it. Mm-hmm. So buying it directly from the manufacturer is probably how they're going to go.
Okay.
But we'll see. But
But they've got a long-term vision here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's an app that's going to let people upload their stats to compare themselves. Why wouldn't they? They're guys. It's what they do.
Let's watch this. Why do you think there's a stereotype for that? Hey, watch this. Where's you just want to have 911 on your phone so you can just hit that last one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Icon. Watch for it. Okay. It seems like about once or twice a month we get a sex doll story. And
floating down a river in China somewhere?
No.
Okay.
No, this one comes to us from Spain, and Barcelona.
It's a beautiful city.
Yeah, I want to go so bad. I've never been to Spain.
Oh,
That's
wonderful. I went to school there.
Okay.
I'm best food.
Insanely envious.
Really cute guys.
They're gonna. Oh, I bet.
Okay.
They're gonna open a sex doll brothel there, and so they're going to be offering "quote unquote" erotic sessions with sex dolls. Up to $127 an hour for one of 4 Lumi dolls is what these are called. Do you know the line Lumi? It's another one of those
real doll type deals.
Oh,
10 to
15,000 average price for these things. So
honestly, it's sort of like Uber or Lyft for a sex doll. You can just use it. I mean, who needs to own your own?
Right,
who's going through there
for sure? Yeah, there's like a blonde, then there's an Asian, there's a dark skinned, and an anime looking one that has blue hair with ponytails, which why you'd want to fuck a cartoon, I'm curious, but okay. So these things are so expensive that they're trying to figure out, a way to monetize this whole thing. My question is, they can sign up and request clothing, positions, order kind of a menu from a menu, but how do they clean them?
No, the same thing. There's sex toy cleaners and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So that doesn't freak you out as much as it does?
And my guess is they'll probably have them use a condom.
Okay.
They're just going through there. At least
but who's going to rat them out if they don't?
Well, there's that. Maybe they'll have them use the little thrusty condom and they'll know.
Okay.
They could combine the two things here.
Yeah. So, here's the thing that's really freaking me out. Have you heard of the company Real Doll? Is that one of the ones that you guys know? Mm-hmm. They're working on artificial intelligence for theirs. Mm-hmm. Did you know that?
I know. Really, the machines are going to take over all the jobs.
I know Stephen Hawking said so.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they said they're going to take over us.
Well,
they're
not in my lifetime. Maybe my great grandchildren. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. I'll be long dead. It will be fine.
They're going to self-actualize and we're screwed. But yeah, so they're working on that too.
Honestly, we're taking ourselves out anyway. So
we're doing a good job.
We're doing a good job out by ourselves. It doesn't make any difference. We're not getting any clean air or water.
Okay. Yeah.
So honestly,
we don't have to wait for the robots.
No, we're taking care of it ourselves.
Okay. There's some really unusual stuff in here. So, okay. There's a sign. This is in England. and people are having a fit. There's a shop window, and